We'll talk about this in a minute. So the subject of today's live is save your childhood. But first, how do you like my haircut? You guys like my haircut? Maybe you can give me some feedback, because I got tired of stopping at hair salons wherever I was driving and asked if I could get a haircut, which only takes like 7 minutes. And they all said, no, we're booked up till next week. So I stopped at like 7 places in the last month. And I don't like my hair long because I don't want to mess with my hair. So guess what I did this morning? I did. I just sat in the mirror and gave myself a haircut. So I can't see the back. Is there any like big gouge spots? Probably. But the camera doesn't see those, so I figure the only people I need a haircut for are people on Zoom, right? And all you need to see is the front. You don't need to see the back. Save myself 30 bucks and a half hour, and save myself having to stop at every hair salon I saw as I'm driving around. But that's not what I'm talking about this morning. I'm talking about saving childhood memories. So I really don't have anything from my childhood in Hawaii because, believe it or not, Kimmy and I have been there almost 6 years and we haven't really decorated yet. We're just so busy living that decorating the house hasn't become important. So my stuff from like my childhood stuff is here at the ranch. And I just happened to like see a couple of things in the last couple of days, and it had me think, you know what? This is something worth talking about, especially for those of you that are young, or for those of you that have kids, perhaps a message you could pass on to your kids. So, you know, my parents divorced when I was in high school, and so, you know, half the worldly possessions get split up. And then I moved out of the house when I was a senior in high school. I lived with 3 other guys the whole senior year of high school. And then I started moving around. I lived in 11 different states in, gosh, the first 10 years of adulthood. And I think 2 or 3 times I would put my stuff in storage and then I wouldn't pay the bill. And I wouldn't even go back, right? I wouldn't go back for years. And I'd even forget what mini storage it was in. So anyway, the point of today's live is save your childhood and coach your children to save their childhood, because it you know, when you get older, I know all of you can appreciate this, that it's kind of the fabric, right, of your soul, of your life. It's kind of the history of your life. You know, we have jobs and we have accomplishments and we have stuff, but that's not the fabric of our life, of who we are. So I was going to share with you a couple of, well, I only have 2 that I can find, fabrics. One of them is, well, it's funny to me. It might not be funny to you, but this is my Cub Scout, whatever you call it. Oh, it's called my Cub Scout Scrapbook. This is from, I think, the 5th grade. And I remember the whole shellacking of these. I think these are badges. And I remember sanding the wood and picking the wood and, you know, 10 different coats of lacquer. And I remember that like it was yesterday. And I haven't even opened this yet before I started talking to you. So I don't know what's in it, but, oh, wow, there you go. Pictures. You probably can't see that very good, but all right, I'm in there somewhere. That's my Cub Scout group. And of course, these kind of pictures are only interesting to people that are in them, right? But that's kind of the point, is that these are good pictures for you and I. These are good pictures for us to share with our kids. And so, for example, I have a way more stuff from my dad than I have my dad's childhood than from my own childhood. And one of them is back here. So that is a Lionel train set. Can you see that? I don't know. What's going on? Oh, there you go. Here. That's a Lionel train set that my dad had as a kid. But you can't even see it. Oh, there it is. Oh, sorry. A couple of essential oils in the the cargo hole. And then there's one other thing that I'll show you. I got workers out here, so I can't come out here for very long. But you see that sign right there? It says Brookfield Ranch, which is not actually the name of my ranch. It's Bliss Ranch. But that sign, my sister and I made for my mom when I was in the 5th grade. And I remember making that too. So it's just a short lesson. I'm sure all of you have way better stories than I have about it. But if you're young, if you're in your 20s or 30s, wow, here's a couple things that my experience would just be to share with you. Like, one, gather up all the stuff from your childhood, and unless it's just junk, right? Just junk, don't throw it out. Like if it's something you made or something you earned or pictures or something that's special to you, like hang on to it. Because when you're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, it's going to be way more important to you than it is now. And it's going to be way more important to your children to not only have some of that stuff, but know the story behind it. So one of the big regrets I have in my mom passing is her Alzheimer's snuck up on us so fast, and I didn't live here, and my sister didn't live here, that, we never sat down with my mom with a video camera and went through photo albums, because she had like dozens of them. She probably had 100 photo albums that she kept all hidden, right? She would never show them to us very often. But what my sister and I could have done is sat down with my mom with a video camera and just videoed her talking about who are all these people in the pictures? Where are you in these places? Because my mom was exceptional in chronicling her life. I mean, thousands of physical pictures she had. And, if it's not on my iPhone, I don't have any pictures of my life, which is kind of a missing, right? And I don't have biological children, so it's not as important to me, perhaps, as it is to you. But just here's some things to think about. If you're young, do this. If you're older, coach your kids to do this. If you're older but your parents are still alive, do this. Gather up all the stuff from your childhood that's meaningful and put it in a safe place. And when you get an opportunity, show it to your kids. And kids, hang on to your stuff. Don't throw it in a mini storage and then not pay the fees, because they're going to put it on the reality TV show and some guy's going to buy it for $50, right? And there might be some treasure in there. And before your parents pass away, get a video camera out and interview them. Ask them about their parents and their grandparents. Now you could go up like 4 generations. You could have some dialogue about who were these people and where did they come from and what were they like and what did they do for a living? Because, a lot of that stuff you can't even get from Ancestry.com. You can really only get it from hand-me-down stories, parents to children, grandparents to grandchildren. And, if you think about the American Indian, which if you look around my cabin, I got Indians everywhere, right? This is like, you would have thought this is a cabin for Lonesome Dove, or something like that, right? But Indians and all native tribes are so much better than North Americans anyway about talking story and handing stories down to maintain the culture. And every family has a culture. Every family has a history. It has fascinating facts, fascinating people, failures, accomplishments, things that the future generations deserve to know, and will add immensely to the fabric of their soul to know those stories, to see those things and be able to show them to their kids and their grandkids. And I'm sure you all have stories like that, and I'd love to read some. So if you have something like, I don't know, here's a question. What's the oldest thing you have that's yours? Like that you made or you bought or you created? What's the oldest thing you have, and what is it? And where is it? And do your kids know about it? And any other meaningful things. If you have something meaningful from your childhood, or you have a story about interviewing your parents or your grandparents, throw it in here, because I don't have, all I have is an instigation of this idea. You guys have like the depth of it with your stories, and I think it would be valuable for all of us to read those. And that's all I have for Daily Dose of Salt. Thanks. See you tomorrow.